Hey, I'm Claire,
And I'm Janice.
and this is The X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
We are breakup coaches here to help you beat your breakup
Heal your broken heart.
and move on to an amazing, abundant life.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of The X-Files. It's really exciting to be here again and to get everyone's feedback on the show. It's been really amazing to get your messages, and we're so stoked.
Yeah, this has been a good week as far as the DMs go. So thank you to everyone who has joined the Facebook group, who has sent us a DM, who has let us know how much this is helping you. It just truly gets us so excited. Claire and I always talk about, I think, almost every DM, and just that, this is really, we're accomplishing the goal of helping people through a tough time. And it's really exciting. And we're very, very grateful to each of you.
Yes. Yeah, we thrive on positive reinforcement. So thank you.
Yeah. I guess
so. Yeah. And we just wanted to take a moment to say one thing before we dive into this week's episode, which is going to be awesome. Is that May 4th, we are doing a live training in our Facebook group, Breakups, Broken Hearts, and Moving On. So if you'd like to come and be able to talk to us live and basically get some free coaching, or see the replay, or just watch it silently, that's cool too. You don't have to, speak up. Come and join that Facebook group, because that's where we're putting a lot of the resources that are basically only available there. So
we're putting things in that relate to our episodes, and we're going in there, sharing a little bit about our lives as well and what we're up to. So we'd love you to join us. I do want to make sure to mention that it is a safe space for people who want support around their breakup, and therefore we do have a few membership questions that we must have you answer to let you in.
Yeah.
So we're getting lots of requests of people who don't answer. So it's really important to us to have integrity and have you answer those before we accept.
And those questions are like, what's your favorite episode? Because we just want to keep it to podcast listeners and make sure that you guys have a safe, private space of people who get it. Who get where you're coming from. And so that is that. We won't take up too much time with it at the beginning, but come and join us. Come request to come in the group. So yes.
Super.
And without further ado, this week's episode, I keep saying that this week's episode is on.
It is.
I mean, it is. Is on the 5 best things that we did during a breakup. We've covered the mistakes that we've made, and so we thought we'd take a more positive spin on it this time. Talk about the things we did right in the past. So
and our 5 biggest breakup mistakes has been a very popular episode. And so we thought, well, we've done things right as well. So let's chat about that too.
We didn't just learn from our mistakes.
No. Through all our experience, there was some good stuff in there. And even though, in one of our tanks should say, do as we say, not as we did, because we have repeated that a lot. And there is a lot of truth to that. When you've been through, tumultuous and several breakups like we have, of course, you make missteps along the way, especially because a lot of our breakups happened before we became coaches and had, the awareness that we now have about relationships and communication and self-care. So yes, there is truth to that. And we want to talk about those things so that you can avoid them.
Exactly.
But
I mean, those are the 2 ways that people learn, right? Is through experience and through stories. And so we're trying to help you not have to go through the tough experiences of doing things that you're like, oh, that didn't work, by telling you stories about what worked and what didn't. But, at the end of the day, be gentle with yourself, because sometimes you just have to do it to figure it out. I always remind people of that as well. It's like, you can take our advice and intellectually get it and decide not to and be like, yep, they were right.
Right. I mean, you can't really learn a lesson from knowing that someone else did something. I mean,
Exactly.
sometimes the best and the only way to really learn it is
Yeah.
to experience what it, feels like to actually do it, or,
Exactly.
what actually goes down.
Yeah. Yeah, just really underscore that learning by
Yeah.
making the mistake. But if you can avoid that, great. But be gentle with yourself if you're like, I just have to do it anyway.
Mhm.
So yeah. All right. Well,
Well, I want to ask you, Claire. So I know that I tend to focus on my mistakes because I feel like I'm trying to kind of protect people.
yeah. Oh
And this
yeah.
is why I think one of the most common things when it comes to breakup coaching and talking about breakups is this whole idea, for instance, about getting back with the ex.
Mm,
And I know I bring this up over and over again because I just feel like I'm trying so hard to shield people from,
yeah.
the potential slash very likely reality that it won't work out. And even in
Yeah.
my coaching, I will tend to bring up my mistakes a little bit more than my successes.
Yeah.
How do you feel like it plays out in your practice?
Um, yes, definitely. I definitely talk about my mistakes, but I I found I emphasize a lot being like what I was saying before, being gentle with yourself, realizing you're
Mhm,
human and that everything you're doing is a learning experience,
mhm,
and um looking for those lessons in what you're doing and what you're experiencing, but really emphasizing like, hey, the last thing you need to do when you're already suffering so much is to start feeling shame or
yep,
guilt over doing
mhm.
something wrong or beating yourself up. It's like we are not perfect. You
We,
know,
you and I, or we humans?
everyone.
Oh.
We humans. I mean,
Mhm.
cats may be
The
perfect, but
very collective we.
yeah, the collective
Mhm,
we, not the royal we or anything
mhm,
like that. So yeah, just, I really emphasize that like learning self-love because I think that's that's like the overarching theme that if you learn self-love and really get into the practice of coming back to yourself and forgiving yourself, that's going to serve you in this breakup. It's going to serve you when you're dating. It's going to
mhm.
serve you when someone ghosts you. It's going to serve you when, you're navigating, defining the relationship and stuff. It's just going to be so much more important than really being like, oh, you must never text your ex, period. And if you do, you're fucking up,
Yeah, no, I agree with, I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
And yeah, in fact, I never really dwell on any, shame or guilt. It's just, okay,
exactly.
well, what is the future goal, or what do you want to fill a
Exactly.
week from now?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of the people who come to us for coaching are on different personal growth journeys. And so I think it's really important because we're both on, different, either I would consider myself to be on what I might call a spiritual path. Uh,
Yeah,
and so I think it's really important to share, like what that means for us and what we do that we incorporate into our lives and that other people
exactly.
might enjoy. Um,
Yeah.
so not all of what we're going to mention today is necessarily related to our paths, but I think that it's,
Yeah.
fun to focus on the positives.
Yes,
Mhm.
totally.
Because they
So
served
we're
us well. I mean,
yeah,
almost as well as learning from the mistakes was learning from some of the positive things that we now know
exactly.
work and that
Yeah.
we talked with people about. Yep.
100%.
So today we are going to talk about our top 5 best things that we did after breakups. And
Yes.
some of these you might want to incorporate, some you might want to just think about, or you might just want to listen and have fun with this. But we also want to give a disclaimer that we're not necessarily saying these are things that will work for you. This is kind of us looking back in retrospect as coaches, about what worked and things that you might want to try.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, yeah, there's the things we suggest can be narrowed down into more individual ways of like applying them.
mhm, yep.
Yeah, like I'm
So,
thinking of one right now where it's like that may mean something different for different people, but
yes,
I'll wait.
absolutely. So I guess, so basically, I think what I'm saying is when we say do as we say, not as we do, I don't necessarily think the reverse would be do as we do or do as we did. Like
Yeah.
this is just a little food for thought,
Yeah.
things you might
Food
want
for
to try.
thought. If something is like, ooh, that feels good to me, then
Right.
try
Yes.
it
And this
out.
will make a lot of sense after we actually start getting into
I
some of
know.
these.
Yeah, we're like
Maybe
we're
we're
like
explaining too much.
awesome. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
So,
do
yep,
you want to
go ahead.
talk about your experience,
Yeah.
like a little overview?
Yes. So as anyone who's listened before knows, I am divorced, and several of the things on my list come from that time, because another part of the story is that I was in a very good place at the time. I was definitely on a path. I had lots of positive support around me.
Mm.
It was one of the reasons the marriage fell apart, is because we were taking different paths. I was kind of
Yeah.
going down this, I was changing in like kind of this positive, I was
Uh-huh.
becoming like very um I guess empowered would be
Yeah.
the best way that other people could relate to it. And yeah, it just was difficult for us to keep relating to each other.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the good things that I'm going to talk about came during that time. So I feel like after I've had a couple other breakups since then, and in a way I feel like I kind of like lost the plot and didn't really cope with some of my other breakups as well. And I think one of the reasons is I kind of combined a lot of life stress with relationships with breakups,
Mm.
and yeah, it got just kind of too overwhelming for me, and that wasn't necessarily the case with my divorce. So
Yeah,
yeah,
because
I'm
why
going to
not do everything at once, right?
oh
Why
god,
not have like there's like the top 5 life stressors. There's like a breakup, a move, a
yeah,
traumatic
yeah,
event.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
I'm like thinking of instances where you've definitely combined those.
Oh yeah, like even maybe all 5 in some cases. And
Yeah.
this is completely not on topic, but maybe something we can talk about in the future. It's just I think it's really important for people to be just like stable and steady and
Yeah.
firm in their life and firm with themselves before they
Yeah.
decide, to bring on a really committed and serious relationship,
Uh-huh.
because otherwise um it's not a good foundation, which I've
Yeah.
discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know we're all different. Like I'm
Mhm.
like listening to that and I'm like Gemini
What do you
through
mean?
and through. I'm like, I don't know who I am. Like what's stability? Like,
You're stable.
I am stable.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's kind of like I am a little bit like
Mhm.
one week I'm like super into one thing and then
Oh,
the
okay.
next week,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh-huh.
so you maybe everyone's
Okay.
gonna be like, oh fuck, she's a Gemini shit. Um
I see what
so
you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean. Mhm.
yeah, so it's there's
Different for everyone. I
yeah,
think, also
exactly. Like stable for
emotionally.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't, for instance, have my finances straightened out. I was at the time when I got with my abuser, I was, still looking for a place. I was house sitting. I just didn't have like the basic
Yeah.
things in place in my life. I don't think that I'd gotten to a point as a single person that I was happy with. It was,
Yes.
yeah, it just I wasn't
Yeah.
ready. I really wasn't.
Yeah. Because
Mhm.
you want to be in this modern age, you want to be with someone because of who they are. You
Mhm.
don't want to be with someone because subconsciously you're like, oh, well, they're stable and they have a house and like,
Mhm.
like
But you
there's
don't want to be with someone whose life is in chaos.
yeah.
And well, I mean, maybe some people do, but I I think maybe that's something. But also, you don't want to welcome someone into your life when your life is kind of a tornado of drama like mine
Yeah.
was. Mhm.
Yeah, figure out I think that just comes back to the theme of figuring out what you like doing, what feels good for you, and
Mhm.
bringing someone into that instead of trying to figure that out while you have someone
Yes.
else's influence in there.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So that was a very circular way of coming to that conclusion.
Mhm.
Yeah, for my breakup experience, I mean, I honestly don't think I can describe any breakup I've had as a good experience. So I
Yeah.
really like recognize how together your situation was during your divorce that you can look back and be like, yeah, it was hard, but I had the things in place and it was.
Yeah, I dealt with the pain in positive ways. It was painful. I mean, I've told stories about how painful it was, but I dealt with it in much more positive ways than I did in future breakups.
Yeah, exactly. So, they all hurt like hell.
Yep.
The first two I had, like there was one in high school and then the next was like my first year of college. And those were definitely the least bad because I knew I was making the right decision for everyone involved. They were both like less than a year we were together, so they were shorter. And, I felt good about those decisions and, I grieved them in a healthy way as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, so, I felt good about those decisions. I'm proud of my decision to leave the toxic guy, but that was not a good experience. It like devolved into kind of a stalking situation. I wasn't stalking him, he was stalking me. But there was a lot I was not
well, you
in
could have,
control
you could have learned from that,
I could have, yeah. Just to clarify. Yeah, and then the breakup with my fiance was obviously devastating. And although I did everything mostly right, like unfollowing, going no contact, it was still just, that was a very hard situation.
Yep.
Yeah, and then dumpster fire I tried to be friends with, so I didn't handle that one very well. So yeah.
And you learned from that, and then I think that you did
did
do some things that were good that you learned from. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So very long introduction about relationships and breakups that are getting us to the main point here.
Yeah.
All right. So do you want to each talk about the 5 best things that we did?
Yes, let's do it. You go first.
So, thank you. Okay, so me. I'm just gonna start out with a bit of a bang here. When I first separated, perhaps legally / officially, from my ex-husband, I was very good friends with a woman who invited me to go on a cruise.
Yeah.
And this is number 1 on my list. Going on a holiday, taking a fun vacation. I wouldn't say to go on a cruise now, but like gross. But at the time, it was, yes, much safer than it is now. And this just was so good for me. So first of all, I had the opportunity to travel. As some listeners will know, that was an issue in my marriage. And so that was fun. I was able to just completely relax. I got the chance to, get spoiled. Not only did we go on a cruise, it was one of these like luxury cruise lines because her dad worked for it and so was able to get us, a very special deal. So this is, I think it was called Silver Seas. It was fancy. And, we just completely let loose. Kind of felt sexy, we would get dressed up. Aww. It was a great experience. It helped me to, inject something really, really positive into my life during a really dark time. It was just absolutely incredible. I actually ended up sleeping with the first person after my ex during the cruise. Ooh! And it was just like the ideal sexy romantic sexual experience, which I would have never guessed that would have happened, but it was wonderful. I got to spend
Sounds
time
like a Lifetime movie.
Oh, I still remember it so vividly, and it was really wonderful for me to be able to do this for myself.
And switch up your environment too. And that's a big thing.
So I think even if I were to relay this advice, for instance, to a client, I might say, even if it's a weekend road trip or a day trip or anything where you can go and do something out of the ordinary, out of your normal environment, in the early days of a breakup, I think it will, I could say very likely to work out for you.
Yes, especially like it reminds you how big the world is
Yep.
and how
Yep.
many different people are out there
Yes.
and just like how full of opportunity
Yeah,
life is.
exactly. And in the couple months leading up to the separation, it had gotten heavy, to the point that, like I've said, I didn't want to go home. Everything just felt really difficult. I always was just dreading the next fight, the next, even sometimes just interactions with him. It was just dark, and it was just weighing on me. And so to say, I'm not doing this anymore, I want you to leave, and then go and have this very light and fun and exciting experience,
Yeah,
it gave me this feeling like it's going to be okay,
it's
you
gonna
know?
be okay.
Yeah. And that you now are
Yeah.
in charge of your life. Like I've said, I've traveled a ton since then. And to start off the separation with traveling, it was like, hello, this is the life I want. I'm doing it.
Yeah. You're
So,
like, this is awesome. That's
yep. So,
amazing.
like I said, it might not be a cruise now, but a vacation, a holiday, something special.
Hmm.
Yes, definitely my best move, and something I'd suggest to others. So, number 2, this has served me so well, and it did start with the divorce. Oh, you know what? Okay, so the thing is, not looking at their social media is number 2 for me, best thing that I've done. And it just occurred to me that whilst I was on the cruise, I went into this little private computer room that they had on the ship, and my friend had also recently gone through a breakup
Uh-huh.
with a semi long-term partner, someone she had been really into, and it wasn't the best breakup. And
Oh.
that had also happened very close around the time, maybe even within a month. Anyway, so I walk into the computer room, and she's on his Facebook.
Oh.
So for what I mean, at the time, it just had never occurred to me that I would want to look at my ex's Facebook. And so I walked in, and she was doing it, and I was like, what are you doing? I mean, it was a bad breakup, and she was happy/sad just because of how it had gone down. And she was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I can't help it, or I just want to see. I'm just kind of curious." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Why?" And yeah, that kind of got me on this whole no social media after a breakup thing from like the very beginning, because it just surprised me so much that people did that. And so I just knowing that people did it, and that I didn't, and that it seemed like I was not doing better, but just that I wasn't being affected by the social media, it just became
Hmm.
a thing for me. And
Yeah.
no after wait and even though I've had a few breakups since, I've still never this is nothing I've ever done. So
Awesome.
yep.
Good for
So
you.
don't look at the social media. I mean,
Yeah.
even if maybe you're not completely no contact, you might be in touch in some way, I still don't think you need to look at their accounts or what they're
Yeah.
doing. No.
Yeah. And we have tips on how to avoid doing that or wean yourself off of it because it
Yep.
is a chemical addiction.
Yeah.
I think it's in our no contact episode. So
Mhm.
yeah, listen to
Yep.
that. Episode
Yes,
2.
for sure. And something I still for sure stand by. So, number 3, I have gotten really into exercise after a couple of my breakups. So after my divorce, I did it because I had extra time on my
Hmm.
hands. We would often hang out, in the evenings like many couples do. And so when I wasn't like compulsively going out, I kind of had time that would open up, and I would exercise with the time.
Hmm.
And then after my last breakup, I got really into hiking. And I just, this is something that I also talk a lot about. It gave me energy. It, kind of helped me feel like I was, physically taking care of myself. It was something to do. It gave me time to process. It distracted me just a little bit. And I think it was a really positive thing that I've done after breakups.
Yes, I love this tip because exercise releases endorphins and it makes you feel
Yeah,
good.
it does.
Um,
It does.
yeah, and so this was what I was referencing earlier about how this might look different
Yeah.
for everyone.
Hmm.
So it may be, that you get really into hiking because like being in nature is also really positive for your happiness and everything. It may be getting into yoga because you like being gentle to yourself and your heart is aching. And
Yep.
and when you're in that space, it's hard to, be motivated to put in like an intense effort.
Yeah.
Um, or maybe you're feeling really angry. And so doing like boxing or CrossFit for
I've
your
never done that,
aggression.
but have you
Yeah.
done boxing after a breakup
Um, n-
or high intense
yeah, I
workouts?
think I did it like a boxing class at Gold's
Mm.
Gym, like
Mm.
in like high school. So, but I would be super down. I did do CrossFit, but it's very much like um I was actually doing CrossFit leading up to a breakup, and after the breakup, I went more to gentle
Yeah.
exercise forms
Yeah.
because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't
Mhm.
do that energy
Um,
expenditure.
so after my last breakup when I was in Melbourne, I got really into outdoor walking and step counting.
Uh-huh.
So, and that might be something for someone to consider if they're not really feeling
Mhm.
in the mood for high intensity, is that,
Yeah.
counting my steps kind of also gave me a little hobby. It gave me the chance to have a little goal that I would
Yeah,
achieve every day. It got me out of the house.
exactly. That's a
It
big deal.
is, walking is exercise, especially if you're going like I sometimes do, 7, 8, 9 miles a day. It's
Yeah.
still a really good exercise.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets enough credit.
Yeah, I mean that's how we were actually built, is to
Mhm.
be like walking around throughout the day,
Yep.
like up
Yep.
and, sitting, standing, walking, all of that. So it's actually really, really
Mhm.
healthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's a wonderful way to distract yourself if you're finding that you're dwelling on your ex or the racing thoughts, is to leave the house and go on a walk.
Yeah, change your
Yeah.
state.
All right. So number 4, this has been something that I've done after a couple of breakups, definitely after my separation, and that was that I really, really dove in to a project. So this is not something that I'm working on still today, but for a while I had quite a popular women's history travel website. And
Oh.
it yeah, I'm not doing it anymore, but because of the chaos that I created with future breakups. But at the time, so it was something that I kind of wanted to do for a while, but the marriage was stressful. I felt like lots of my free time was always kind of taken up with that. And also, I wasn't really in the headspace because of the drama. And so once he wasn't around anymore, I decided, I'm going to really go with this. And I spent, evenings, weekends, just researching and putting this cute little thing together. And I just went so deep into it. And of course, it distracted me from kind of the pain in a very, very positive way.
Mhm.
I, learned new things. I created something that I was proud of. I, had something new that I could speak to people about. And it really, really served me well. And I felt like I was accomplishing something. And yeah, whether it be crafts or a research project or any type of new hobby, CrossFit, yeah, any new project, I think
Mhm.
that that's also something that I would still recommend.
Yeah, starting like an Etsy business or
Yeah.
yeah, it's I completely relate with this. Projects are great. Learning to code, that'll
You
distract you
know
for
what?
sure.
You are not the first person that's brought this coding thing up in relation
Mhm.
to Breakup Project.
Really?
Very recently.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Or something related to gaming. I mean, look,
Mhm.
these aren't things that I'm into, but if that is your
Yeah.
passion and that's something that you want to go deep into, this is your time.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything that takes a lot of focus,
Yeah.
and also is really rewarding for you,
Hmm.
that's a good thing. Go
Right.
towards that.
After when I left my abuser, I've always been really into decoupage. This
Ooh.
might seem a little, well, no, I'm not going to say it's nerdy. I'm not going to put a judgment on it, but it's something that I enjoy that I haven't found many other people to relate to me with. But I'm cutting out pictures, putting them together in cool designs. I have some on the wall. I'll show you another time. And so I got back into it when I left the abusive relationship. And, it was kind of hard to make it through the day. And I would always say, okay, I'm going to make it to after dinner, and then I'm going to get out all my decoupage, and I'm just going to sit and cut and create. And it gets you deep because it's so detailed.
Yeah.
And so it kind of gets you out of your head in a good way.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yep. And I'm always asking people to tag us different things. If you have some type of breakup hobby or project that you start, I would love you to share that with us.
Oh, so good.
So number 4 on my list. So number 5, getting juicy. And this is a perfect example of what I was saying earlier. Like, it worked for me. You see if it works for you. Is I kind of started experimenting sexually after my separation. So New York City is a fun place to be if you're single and ready to mingle like I was. And something about it just felt very right to me. Maybe it was because I had been with the same person. Maybe it was that, life had not been, as I said, very fun for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I was feeling very sexy and confident at the time. So I went online for the first time. OkCupid was the thing in New York at the time.
Oh my God.
Everyone was on it. Everyone.
Yeah.
Well, if you were single. And so I kind of started dating early on. Well, maybe not if you're single.
Or not if you're single.
Because I actually had my first threesome after my separation with someone I met on OkCupid. And, they kind of pursued me a bit, and it just, I spoke to my friends about it, and I said, I don't know what it is, but I'm like feeling drawn to do this. Yeah. And everyone was like, I don't see why not. Everything that we did was safe and responsible, and I don't know. I just went for it. And I look back and I have absolutely no regrets. I feel like it was a beautiful thing that I did. It was fun, adventurous, and it just got me really feeling energized and excited about life.
Yeah, all the different ways you can be.
You didn't know I was going to say the threesome thing, did you?
No, I was like, all right.
Yes.
I mean, you've mentioned things like about experimenting with polyamory in Australia, and I think experimentation, if it feels good to you, like don't feel pressure to do anything that doesn't feel good.
Nope. I was in the place and it really served me. I got to a place less than a year later where I kind of felt like I needed to like rein some of that in. But at the time, it was just an exciting time to be alive and be doing stuff like this. I remember, taking a cab to their apartment and just feeling, like I said, just kind of just alive. There's not really nowhere else to put it. But I for me, this was a good thing that I did after this breakup for sure.
Hell yes. Yeah. And that can be as basic as just like kissing someone new for the first time. Or like buying yourself a toy,
Yes. Big fan. Yeah. I mean, and after my last breakup, I think that's kind of the path that I'm on now. I'm like, I'm, doing it for myself in more ways than one. And
here's hey, Dipsy, if you're listening, there's an app called Dipsy. We would love to be sponsored by you, Dipsy.
Hey, Dipsy.
It's audio porn. So if you kind of get grossed out by like watching other people, like audio porn can be a lot better.
Audio porn is the new thing.
Yeah, it's very story based. And it's I think the app is built mostly for like the female mind, whatever that means.
The thought is that women like porn that is more story based, and that you can tell what the the situation or the relationship
Yeah.
is between all the people.
There's like
Yeah.
context
Yeah,
to,
yeah. There
yeah, they
the
like set
theory is
up a
that
whole
women like
thing.
that more.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, you could experiment with trying Dipsy
Yeah.
for the
Oh,
first time.
do
So
that. Yeah. Anyone
yeah.
listening, that sounds very positive.
Yeah.
If maybe you're not ready, for a OkCupid threesome
Yeah.
scenario, get Dipsy. Start there. Start there.
Yeah. Start there. Yeah. And it's not just like porn. They also have like guided self sessions. So they're like,
Aw.
walking you through how to touch yourself
Oh, that's
and everything.
hot. I
So
like it.
yeah, it's very cool. So you don't have to like, if the fantasy of two other people doing it doesn't get you juiced up, then yeah, there's lots of options for you.
Well, yeah, I think that sounds very positive regardless of anything else that you're into. Having self-guided sexy session. Oh, yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah, and I think people can kind of let that go in relationships. So if you're newly single, yeah, especially
And
if
I
you've
mean,
been living with someone, it's not like you're gonna go lay down next to them and like turn on a porn.
I mean, I'm sure some people
Some people do,
but you
but
might not have the full opportunity for full self-pleasure exploration. Yeah, if
yeah.
you're living with your partner. And again, I'm sure that some people do, but you might feel more inhibited. You might feel more open
Mhm.
after a breakup. And
Yeah.
also, I think along the same lines as with the cruise, as with other things I've mentioned, once you really gain an understanding around self-pleasure, it also can just open up this new portal in a way of just knowing, like I can give this to myself. This is
Yeah.
really wonderful. And again, it's gonna
Yeah.
be okay.
And you can train anyone new as they come into the
Yeah,
picture.
totally. Yep. Another
Yeah.
very good point about self-pleasure.
Yes.
Mhm.
So yeah, those were 5 awesome tips
Thank
that you
you.
did, and
It
I'm
was
so glad that
fun.
you did those and
Me
had that
too. It was fun
positivity.
to talk
Yeah.
about as well. So
Yeah.
Claire, what are your 5 things? I want to hear.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, exercise would have been one of them, but I wanted to list something different. So just a clause
Okay.
there.
All right.
Exercise for sure. So the first thing, and I'm realizing now that this is basically what we talked about diving into a project.
Mhm.
But I found that doing something that connects to your purpose is huge because it's not just that you're distracting yourself with something entertaining, like you're doing something meaningful that has like gives
Telling.
yourself like purpose and meaning
Mhm.
outside of being like in a relationship or something.
Awesome.
So if you're like, what the fuck, how do I know what that is?
Mhm.
Think about like what lights you up, what's
Yeah.
something that's bigger than yourself. This could
Mhm.
be like volunteering for the first time.
Yeah.
um like animal shelter, like I was a volunteer coordinator at an animal shelter, so I'm a little bit biased. That's a great way to like get out of the house, and also petting animals is going to make you feel so much
Oh,
better, like
that's a good
always.
idea.
Yeah. And it could be something meaningful, like volunteering as like in the call center of a rape crisis center, so
Mhm.
like that it can be heavier depending on what brings you like the most like fulfillment and meaning, but looking at some way to get outside of yourself and into like your purpose and having an impact. So all of those kind of like purpose, impact, meaning, all of those buzzwords, feel around, try a few things.
Mm.
Yeah.
Something you find synergy with to keep
Synergy.
going with the buzzwords. I
Yeah.
really love this. In fact, I just realized that after my last breakup in Melbourne is when I wrote my first breakup coaching program. And
Yeah.
every weekend I would just sit down for hours. I mean,
Mhm.
hours and dive into it. And I did. I
Yeah.
really felt like I am finally embracing this. And
Yes.
yep, and for all the same reasons.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Great.
huge. It's huge. So, yeah, my number 2 is I started journaling.
if you have the X-Files drinking game, you would probably be taking a drink right now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's a journaling, take a shot. Yeah, so I was not into journaling before because I always thought, oh, what journaling is like a record of your life. I had like read, people's like autobiography. Oh God. Autobiographies that were like
biography.
But like journaling to me was like, oh, this is going to exist. Someone will read this, whether it's me or like, a family member or something. It's like, you have to be like still thinking about how you will be perceived as you journal. And that is not how you journal.
No.
Like 100%. That is not going to give you a lot of self-development if you are, still playing a role, to appease different people, whether it's someone 100 years from now or like your mom or something, or yourself. I don't know. But
yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah. As soon as I started realizing that journaling could be messy and ugly and I never had to read it again, and I could honestly destroy it as soon as I wrote it, and that it was the act of writing it that mattered and not the record it held. That's when things clicked, and it really helped me process the breakup. So that was huge and was not something I had done before the breakup, actually. So yeah. And I always tell people, because I had a lot of resistance towards journaling, and in my experience with coaching is that everyone else has a lot of resistance to journaling if they're not already journaling. And so I always start out, I'm like, hey, I didn't want to do this either, but it helped.
So what made you start it during one of your breakups?
It actually was a suggestion from one of my friends, who like was basically like my sponsor. If I was in AA, she was like my breakup sponsor. She just like really was that role for me. And yeah, she was like, have you tried just like writing this out? Like, because you're kind of doing it through text with me, but maybe do it in a book, like for yourself first.
Well, and also you might not want to be texting or bringing it up as much if you can get it out of your system.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, like texting someone isn't the only way to process it through writing. You can do it yourself. You can write letters that will never be sent to yourself, to your ex, to whoever. So journaling was huge. That was definitely something that I did that I really am glad I did.
I'm glad you did it too, because I think it probably had a lot to do with your current role as a coach.
Big one. All right. So next is to learn about yourself. And this can be, you can do this through many, many different means. It could mean, starting with a therapist. If you have insurance that covers that, great. You could get into astrology or human design, gene keys. You could do ropes courses to like prove like how brave you are.
Okay. All right. So did you do a ropes course?
I did not. It's on my list.
Okay.
I want to. I was just like brainstorming different ideas.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So like it doesn't have to just be like, oh, this like woo woo, astrology stuff. It can also be like doing something, testing your limits and learning about yourself that way.
Yep. Yeah. So, even maybe nutritionally. I did a couple elimination diets after some breakups, and just learning how my body responds to different foods.
Yeah.
That could be a project to take on to learn about yourself.
Yeah, totally. Just like there you can go super deep. You could, get a psychic or an Akashic records reading or something, anything that puts what is happening in this moment into perspective of like, this is your current life in a huge universe. And this is just one moment and one lesson. So learn about yourself.
I love that. I mean, there are so many coaches even who use astrology and tarot who you could even set up a few different sessions with
tarot or just like like oracle cards. I think there's
Yeah.
like a subtle difference between tarot and oracle cards, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, more than subtle, but yes.
Okay. They're both cards,
Yeah.
but that's where it stops. um, awesome. Yeah. So, anything where you're looking at yourself in a bigger picture than just your one relationship with one person.
Very cool. Thank you, Claire.
Yes.
I like this best thing a lot.
Woo! All right. So number 4, take time off of socials. So this wasn't just like, oh, I did no contact.
Uh-huh.
I like didn't really even post for a year. I think I
Wow.
posted one time, and it was just like, I think I post when I'm happy.
Now,
So there's that.
have you been a sad poster?
No.
I have in the
No.
past, and I've said on the show, like, don't do that. People
Yeah.
become
I
sad.
was not I guess that was mine, where I didn't really understand why other people do that.
There you go.
Yeah. So like I was like, I don't really want to. I think I posted maybe twice in a year, and it was like they were like, one was a dog at work and one was just a picture like of a cool place that I visited. But I just didn't have that urge to be like projecting my energy outward.
Yeah.
I was very inward focused. And so I think, I wasn't like off of social media because I was consuming it a little bit, but I wasn't posting. So that I was like
Mhm.
really focusing on myself and my own experience, and posting for some reason just felt like really off.
Yeah, after my last breakup, and like I said, in Melbourne, the breakup had been kind of public. It was someone who we had a bunch of mutual friends with, and again, and the same, it felt off because I really just felt like people were watching and talking, and it got me kind of not into it. And same, I just stopped the Facebook thing. I also I think posted a couple times in a year, and then I just kind of got out of that platform altogether.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was definitely in a place, same as you, of just figuring my shit out, and like, this is my journey and no one else needs to know about it. And it was a really cool feeling too, to just know, like, I'm just doing me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be like thinking about the PR angles of your captions, or like what you're posting. You don't need to be your own publicist right now.
And I realized that I had lots of motivations that I hadn't even ever realized about the stuff that I would post.
Yeah, it's like very extrinsically motivated a lot of the time.
Yep.
And if you can key into that and be self-aware enough to realize that, that can really help your journey. So awesome. Well, my 5th and final thing that I did right for this list was to get outside, because the world is beautiful, life is beautiful. The more you can get outside, like, first of all, it's just good for us psychologically. And, second of all, it just reminds you how big the world is. And if you're, stuck in your house and you're feeling really lonely, it can feel like the whole world is just this dark hole that you're sitting in on your couch. And if you get out into the world, it's like you connect to something bigger than yourself, especially like hiking or something, like, really outside, not just like walking around the block, though that can help. You can see those like minute moments of, like,
you might need
beauty.
to start small.
Start small. But like, if you can get out, and you just like see the ocean and how big it is, or like, the mountains, and you're just like, holy cow, I am so small. This is such a big place. It's so beautiful. There are a lot of reasons for being happy with life. So
I love this. So can you think of anything specific as far as getting outside after one of your breakups?
I mean, I would get outside pretty frequently. There's there's lots of examples, but like one moment that's sticking out for me is like I really love the mountains in Santa Barbara. They're like unique because there's the ocean there too, which is pretty cool. And they're very close and easy to access. And so I would just go in my car and like explore these back roads going up the mountains, and I'd find like a place to pull off and just sit on a rock and like look out at the world, and
And so you did it
yeah.
often alone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Being
Awesome.
alone.
Awesome.
Yeah. Definitely like if you're hiking alone, make sure you're taking like the safety precautions.
Oh, please. This keeps on coming up in my life where we actually both know people who are really into the solo camping thing. And I mean, that would be a tiny bit of a stretch for me.
Yeah.
And I think I just want to keep on putting out there that if you embrace the concept of solo camping, to please follow safety precautions. Perhaps I listen to too much true crime, but
yes. Exactly. Oh God.
I'm really happy for people. I love camping. Love it. I just think it's something I want to do with someone else, but I also really, really appreciate that some people love to do it alone. Former guest Christina full on goes to like remote places to camp by herself, and it always like kind of even pushes me to, or stretches me when she tells me about it.
Yeah, it's like,
but
anxiety.
Exactly. But I'm so happy for her. She always comes back with some realization or just fully relaxed, and that's great. But hiking, I'm all about doing that solo. And I think also being outside near the ocean is one reason that the cruise was profound for me, was that I just realized, it's going to be fine. This is beautiful. I've just opened myself up to so many opportunities to experience stuff like this.
Yeah, there's a reason why like not all of the poets, but like the romantic poets were like so into the outdoors, and they would like, because you do connect to something like bigger and poetic and grand, when you're outside. So
something bigger than this temporary drama, this temporary situation. This will come to an end, and then
and if
world is waiting.
If you can't get out of the city, like see if there's like a rooftop bar or something, like get up high so you can see like things that are big.
I mean, I don't get out of the city too often, but I might go to a park or go on a very long walk around Denver. Not quite the same as going to the ocean, but there's still ways to.
There's no ocean here, and it's a bummer.
I am definitely a water person. I love being around it. But you know what? We're coming to the end of the pandemic. So it's in the cards. Well, thank you so much, Claire. I really like your 5 things.
Thanks.
Really. This was super great.
Me too.
So let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back to talk about how you can find out what's best for you after a breakup. And we're going to also have another edition of Breakup Ballads. Toxic or empowering. All right, so welcome back. We hope that you enjoyed hearing from Claire and from myself about the 5 best things that we did after a breakup. So what does this mean for you, though? How do you know if you're in the middle of a breakup, what the best quote unquote things for you would be? So I thought we'd touch on that before we get to breakup ballads. So number 1, how do you know what's best for you after a breakup? You might want to take advice from those who've been through it.
Oh my God, you're listening to this podcast. Good job.
So you're in the right place.
You're in the right place. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And you can try things and be like, meh, not for me. But then you've tried it and so yeah.
And this, goes straight into number 2, which is just let yourself have some trial and error time. You might want to, try something once and then feel it out. This is especially true when it comes to things like dating and sexual experimentation, and even possibly travel, or maybe, like, for instance, maybe like going to a public function on your own. Try it once, see how it goes, and then decide if this is a yes or no for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Feel into
and
it.
sometimes that's the only way to learn.
True. Yeah. So another thing would be to not set your expectations on yourself too high. Forgive yourself when you discover that things aren't working.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a
Can you
big
think
deal.
of Can you think of any times that you've had to do this?
Oh.
Did I open up a can of worms, or can you just not think of anything?
Well, I mean, bringing it back to the exercise thing, when I first went through the breakup, I tried to keep doing CrossFit, and I just couldn't push myself like that.
Yeah.
I was already like tired just by going through the day, let alone trying to make myself do 100 pull-ups.
Yeah.
It was too much for me. And so I listened to myself, and I found something that released my endorphins, that gave me that good feeling without being so hard, you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. I can think of several examples.
Yeah.
After I left the abusive relationship, as I've talked about, I wasn't diagnosed with PTSD, but I think I had some symptoms, and I just had kind of a hard time, being around a lot of people. But I just kept on thinking, like, I love being in public. I love, crowds. I've never been a person who is nervous around crowds. I want to go out and do these things. And oh, I feel like a little emotional because at the time, the Renaissance Festival was going on in my area, and I am like a big Renaissance Festival person, and no one who I was staying with would go with me. And I just thought, I'm very comfortable doing things alone, and I thought, you're gonna go, like, you want to go do this, even though I felt like, and I got there and I was miserable. I felt jumpy. I couldn't get into it, and I actually ended up leaving a little early, whereas normally I would have just gone and had the best time. And I got into my car and I just cried so hard.
Oh.
Yeah, and just realizing that something was like not right, and that I couldn't do it. And I got home and I just said, I'm just not ready, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't try it again for a while.
Yeah.
That's
But it
fine.
got better.
Yes.
Got better.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Nothing. I can't think of, very many things I would not be okay doing. Yeah. By myself. In fact, I wish that we were having a Renaissance Festival here, because I'd be all over it. I'd go every day. I don't know about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like planning your outfit.
I only did that once. I did dress up once, but no, I just love the vibe. I love everything about it, but didn't love that experience. Yeah, it was sad, but I also just said, I'm just gonna accept that this is a no for me right now.
Yeah. Oh well.
So okay, the next thing. So I think regardless of what may or may not work for you, that it is very good blanket advice to find some sort of passion project to dive into.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Connect with your purpose, your passion.
And if something, if you have a hard time getting into it, then maybe pick something else, because it is important that you not kind of, quote, sit around or allow your loneliness to, overcome you. It's good that you can find something positive to distract yourself with, and to kind of make a game out of finding what's going to stick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good. And finally, don't rush into anything. There's a grieving period that pretty much must happen before you start getting your groove back. So like while you're experimenting and finding your passions and doing all of those things, I think when we say don't rush into anything, we mean like don't rush into like falling for someone new or things like that, trying to make yourself move on before you've really healed.
Yeah. or any of this, you don't need to feel like I am in the process of getting my groove back, because Janice and Claire are saying that, I need to be putting energy into these
Yeah.
positive things. I just broke up 2 weeks ago. I
You
feel
don't need to do a
horrible.
threesome right now.
No,
Just broke up.
it's
Get
not
my group back.
compulsory.
Threesome. Let's go.
No, it's okay if you're not ready for that, for sure. And well, almost all of these, you don't need to be going on cruises, crossfitting.
Yeah.
You have to grieve, like we've said many times. So if all of this is feeling like pressure to you right now, that's okay. Give yourself grace, give yourself time. You're doing the right thing just by listening to this. So you'll get there.
Oh, and I just thought of something that was that I wanted to say about diving into a project or doing something that connects to your purpose. You don't have to just go to a location to volunteer. You could foster an animal and then you have a friend in your house with
Yeah.
you.
So there's
Cuddles.
been, I think, I actually, this is good. And maybe we can dive into this more on a future episode.
Yeah.
But I think that there's more opportunities to be fostering and adopting pets now than there were before the pandemic. I'm not really sure how it's all related, but I've even looked into it recently, a lot of animals could use a home. And if it's going to be just your pet, this might be a great thing to take on right now.
Exactly. Like even if you can't have a pet long term or that's fine. Fostering is so good because like not just you have that companionship and the cuddles, but also the best fosters are actively trying to introduce their foster pet to potential adopters. So it means you're going out to dog friendly bars and trying to be like, hey, look, this dog has an adoption vest on. Like, let me talk about my dog.
This is so cool.
They're up for adoption. And so you end up like talking to people and getting out more than you would typically, because you're walking around with this cute thing that's wearing a vest saying adopt me. Like you are literally going to talk to so many people.
And hello, it's just about summer. I mean, this would be a great project to take on if you're hurting from a breakup. I love this. Thank you.
So I was like, I cannot let this, now that this popped into my head, I cannot end this episode without talking about it.
No, and I love it. And do you mind if I give a little preview or sneak peek or hint about what our next episode is going to be on?
Episode. Yes.
So the next combined episode that Claire and I do is going to be about pets and breakups.
Yes.
So if you've got questions about that, or if, this whole idea of fostering is being quote unquote triggering because of a pet in your previous relationship, stay tuned because we are going to take a deep dive into the topic of what to do, how to handle it, a lot of hard truths about pets and relationships, and potentially about how you can kind of reclaim pet ownership in your own way.
It's gonna be a good one. Because I've worked in an animal shelter for 4 years in my past life.
We've got an in-house expert.
So I've definitely like speak from a space of expertise on this. So that'll be a good episode with really crucial information. It may be sad and triggering.
But I also extremely helpful. This is something that causes drama and a lot of heartache in a breakup. And I'm really glad that we're covering it. I think a lot of people will be as well.
Yeah, exactly. So stay tuned next week. And I think while you're listening to this, it'll be 7 days out. So cool. Yeah, we plan ahead.
Mark your calendar. All right. So we really wish you luck on your breakup. We hope and we know that you will find what works for you, and that, once you find one thing that works for you, you'll find another, and you're just going to continue to get one step further with each discovery on your healing journey, putting this behind you and embracing your new and amazing life. And we're really honored that you're having us as a part of that journey.
Oh, so beautiful.
Thank you. So, let's get on with it.
Yes.
Breakup ballads, toxic or empowering. So it was my turn to choose the song. And all right, so another thing that I did well after my separation was that I created my first ever breakup playlist.
Yes.
I was so in the kick-ass, mindset at this time. And yeah, so I've said before, I was using Pandora at the time, and any song that just made me feel that, I would add to it, and I listened to it every morning.
Mhm.
And one of the songs on the list was Irreplaceable by Beyonce.
To the left, to the
So,
left.
yeah. And I think for me, I felt that I had really taken control of the breakup and said, like, this is how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And so this song it resonated. So yeah, I thought we would talk about it today. And even though it's a couple years old, it's still very famous and well known and beloved.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. It's definitely yeah. I mean, Queen Bee, right? She,
Yeah.
She kicked him out.
Yes. Oh, we love you and we love this song. So let's get into it. So it starts out, as people may know,
to the left,
to the left, to the left. All right. Everything you own in the box to the left. In the closet, that's my stuff. Yes, if I bought it, please don't touch.
Yes.
And keep taking that. Oh, and keep talking that mess. That's fine. But could you walk and talk at the same time? And it's my name that is on that tag. So remove your bags. Let me call you a cab.
Boom.
Any thoughts so far?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, like the about like who bought what and everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I get the impression with this that all he actually owns can fit in one box, and she's like, yeah, all of those clothes in the closet and stuff that I bought you can't take those.
Oh, yeah, that's so hot. That's so hot. And also a woman who's just like, I am gonna be fine. I've got my shit together, and I don't got time for this crap.
Yeah. Get out of here.
And I also really love, something I love about this song is that so often both of us hear from people, and I've even experienced it in my life, when a relationship ends, it's like, is this over? Is this really the end? Are we gonna, and she is like, we are done. I am positive about this. Pack your stuff. This is final. And I really like that about this song.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like keep talking that mess, that's fine, because you walk and talk at the same time. I think the ambiguity about whether a relationship is ended or not is because you're having those thoughts of like, ooh, but can I do better? Like, is this really as bad as I think it is and stuff? And right now he's trying to be that voice to her. And it's almost easier if the partner is like, you're never going to do better than me. And they're like fighting for it. And you're like, no, fuck you. But if you have those like voices in your head, you start giving them more credence. So it's almost better if your ex is kind of, acting like a fool.
Acting a fool.
Acting a fool.
Yeah, no, that does make it easier. I agree with you. All right. Do you want to read the next stanza?
Oh, standing in the front yard telling me how I'm such a fool. Talking about how I'll never ever find a man like you. Yeah. So that was what I just talked about. You must not know about me. I could have another you in a minute. In fact, he'll be here in a minute, baby.
It's confident.
Yeah,
it's confident.
She's like, you gotta get out of the way because he's about to pull up. Like, yeah. So
it's a great way to go into a breakup. She's got her mind made up, and everyone needs to take their time, but she is just really ready to move on.
Yeah. But it's interesting that she says, I could have another you in a minute. She's not really saying like, I could have someone better or I could have
True.
someone different. She's like,
Mhm, mhm.
you are literally so commonplace that
Yes, you're
like
just
another
you're
one of you is
yep.
gonna roll in.
Mhm, mhm.
You
Yeah,
know, and it's like, yeah, the same situation actually might happen with that person since it's
yeah.
like the same person, but it's almost like more of an
Well,
insult to him.
yeah, she's saying like you brought so little into
Little?
my
Yeah.
life that you wouldn't be hard to replace. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, very very good
Yeah.
point. Yep, I like that.
Yeah.
And then also something that just came to mind is something we've talked about before, where sometimes if you've been in the relationship for a while and you are the one to end it, that you've had a lot of time to kind of process the fact that it's not going to work out, that you want
Yeah.
to leave. And so you might be ready to, move on sooner, which it seems like this woman is.
Yeah. She seems pretty ready. And like maybe it's like a bold front or whatever, because people are like
Hey,
yelling and
sometimes
yeah.
sometimes faking it till you make it can
Fake
work
it
in
till you
breakups.
make it.
Right. So
Yeah.
the next stanza.
I mean,
Okay. So go ahead and get gone. Call up that chick and see if she's home. Oops, I bet you thought that I didn't know. What did you think I was putting you out for?
yeah.
This is all of the booyahs that you kind of want to have when you're breaking up with someone.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it seems like pretty justified right now. He's like,
Yeah.
wait, what? We're so
Mm.
good. And she's like, dude. And then the ultimate flex because you was untrue, rolling her around in the car that I bought you. Baby, you drop them keys. Hurry up before your taxi leaves. So
Mhm.
yeah, he's not leaving with anything that he did not buy himself.
Yep.
So yeah.
And
So
I mean, I
good.
think this is kind of, like a breakup fantasy
Yeah. It's a breakup
situation.
fantasy. Yeah, it's basically, yeah, like look at how it could go. Like fuck yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah,
I guess
totally
nothing wrong with that.
vindicated.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I'll go on. So, since I'm not your everything, how about I be nothing? Nothing at all to you.
Mm.
Baby, I won't shed a tear for you. I won't lose a wink of sleep. Cause the truth of the matter is
They
replacing
say
you
it
is
was
so
so
easy.
easy.
And I loved listening to this every morning. Oh
Yes.
my
Oh my
God.
God.
And I was in this
Yeah.
confident place and
Mhm.
I was, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that you had some thoughts.
Yeah. Since I'm not your everything, how about I'll be your nothing? So there's like, I mean, in this situation, the guy was cheating. So there's that. But, I think it can be unhealthy to expect your partner to actually be everything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah,
shouldn't
true.
cheat
Yeah.
on you. Holy fuck. Like
Mhm.
I'm just saying like he can't be your financial advisor, emotional
Mhm.
support, like sexual deviant, like
Yeah. Oh, even best
adventure
friend.
creator, cook,
Mhm.
dishwasher,
Yeah.
like, uh, you that's a crazy amount of conflicting roles.
Yes. Yep.
Um,
I don't think that the message of you're my everything or you complete me or any other number
mhm.
of cliches
Better
are it.
half.
Yes. Yes. These are not healthy ways to look at,
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah. You
Mhm.
are
Agreed.
a whole person
Mhm.
yourself
Yep.
and you come together for synergy. Um, but yeah.
Ideally, yes.
Yeah. No, I definitely it's yeah, sorry.
All right. So we've got one more stanza. Do you want to read this last one?
Yes. You could pack all your things. We're finished because you made your bed. Now lay in it.
I love it.
Oh. Yeah. He made his
Yep.
choices.
I think that it's good in relationships and that it's a good message to send to everyone that if someone doesn't treat you well or treat you
Mhm.
as you expect, doesn't follow agreements and commitments, that
Yeah.
it's okay and that it's healthy for there to be consequences for that. And sometimes that means that the relationship isn't going to go any farther.
Yeah, exactly. And like this is about cheating, but if you look at it more generally,
Mhm.
you know, like your values are your values. You do not have to sacrifice them just because someone else doesn't also subscribe to them. You do not have to be empathetic and understanding if
Nope.
one of your
Nope.
core values is being ignored or threatened or any of these things, you know.
Yes.
And it can be that like someone is making their bed and doing the damage, you know. And if it's something like much smaller than cheating, it can still be that there are consequences for them.
Yes. So if you, especially when you have communicated your boundaries to a partner, it's not a boundary if there's not some sort of consequence for it being crossed. And so it's good and it's healthy for both of you that there is a fallout when those things are violated.
Yes. So what do we think? Toxic or empowering?
Oh, this one, it's good. I think that it's empowering. I think it's an empowering song for a breakup.
Yeah. I think it's empowering as well. And I just think back to like me in like, I think probably middle school, listening to this on my iPod shuffle and being like, and I'm like, yes, that's a message that I want little Claire to be getting. Like, good job with that one. Yeah, I mean, it was mixed in with, you know, Rihanna Unfaithful and, you know, things like that. But
good album. Some of her songs, I love her, but
thank you Beyonce for giving me some empowering messages as a young person.
Yeah, she's got a lot of good stuff. I really like a lot of her music for breakups and female empowerment, or everyone's empowerment. So awesome. So thank you so much, everyone, to listening to our 5 best things that we did after a breakup. Like we said before, we hope that you find your 5 or 10 or 20 best things as well. If you want to know more about how to find your best things, how to deal with your ex, how to communicate with them, how to go no contact, how to cope with the bad feelings, how to cope with the positive feelings, memories, bad and good, come to our Facebook group on May 4th and ask us about it.
Yeah, totally. And, you know, you may find some support buddies in there who understand what you're going through. So come on by and request to join and tell us what your favorite episode is, because I think that's like one of the questions. So.
Yes. There's 3 questions. We just want to know that you are, in fact, you wanting support around a breakup, that you know what this is. Yeah. So please answer the questions. Breakups, broken hearts, and moving on. And we'll see you over there, we hope.
Thanks for listening to X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
If you like this episode, tag us on your Instagram story so we can connect with you.
And you can find me, Claire, on Instagram at Claire Lofthouse.
And me, Janice, on Instagram at Janice Formicella. If you'd like to join our online community, find us on Facebook at Breakups, Broken Hearts, and Moving On.
And here's a preview of our next episode.
It definitely is, I would say, a foundation that you build on. Mm-hmm. And when you find that, when you're in an emotional place, that your body is not going to act the way it normally does. So already you are in a place of, struggle, because you've got all these stress signals being sent throughout your body, and you might feel anxious by accident if you see your ex, and then you freeze up. And your body freezes up too. It's not just a brain thing. Your actual body is intuitive to what's happening in your emotional level too. Mm-hmm. And so absolutely, when you spend too long perhaps eating foods that are perhaps not overall going to be nourishing for your body, then you're going to find that your body also is working at a subpar level, which is a really sad thing.
Right.